Well, hello. It's time for another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the fountain pens and inks that I've been using throughout the week. And this week, I am on the beach. Admittedly, a prehistoric beach. This is Medicine Rock State Park near Ekalaka, Montana. So we'll have to walk around a little bit after we take a look at the pens. If videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And how cool is it that I'm on a beach? Well, after the pens, you'll get to see how cool this beach really is. So I can't wait. So these are the pens that I've been using this week, from left to right. Let's just center this a little, it's bothering me. I have an Omas 360, Delta Dolcevita, Parker 51, which was out to be washed, but for reasons I'll get into, it's back. Parker Vector, not the Parker Vector you've seen on this channel before. We'll get into that story too. Parker Elite, Pilot Elite. No, Pilot E95, which is the same as an Elite, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. Conklin word gauge. Platinum 3776. See, now I'm losing my place. Koh-i-noor 1309. Noodlers Ahab. What? I can't have a Noodlers pen? And a Lamy Artus Prinz 15p, which is in response to somebody's video, so I'll get into that too. As always, I'll be doing my writing sample in this cognitive surplus notebook. I just want to mention something. I have been doing my keeping records of what pen is inked up in another cognitive surplus notebook, and bleedy as heck. This one, I mean, occasionally it bleeds through, so I guess I should warn you that maybe cognitive surplus paper is inconsistent, which would be disappointing because I do like the brand. Oh, wow. I didn't realize I was this far into it. Okay, so there's the bookmark. And yeah, it's been a while. I had a busy couple of weeks here, and life is more sane again. So my first pen is an Omas 360. So if you don't like triangular sections, you will hate this pen. And it came in two sizes. I've got the smaller size, from what I understand. Has a triangular grip. And, well, not one of their, let's do this. Come on. Not one of their extra flexibile nibs, but a nice nib nonetheless. And it's a medium. And if you're wondering, it's a cartridge converter pen, so I've refilled the cartridge, because I don't actually think I could put a converter in it, in the pen. So, Omas 360. With a medium nib. And the ink in it is Iroshizuku Tsukushi. I don't write with brown inks very often, so I thought, well, what the heck, let's just do it. Plus, I'm still on that quest to use up a couple bottles of ink, and these Iroshizuku bottles that I have accumulated are definitely on the... Whoop! One of my lights almost fell off the table there. These Iroshizuku bottles, they're the little 15 milliliter bottles. They're definitely easy ones to empty out, along with my color verse. So I thought I'll just go for it. I did recently empty out a bottle of Parker Quink Washable Blue, but I had also been given 2 more bottles of Parker Quink Washable Blue, so that really didn't make a difference. My next pen is a Delta Dolcevita Masterpiece. I've been looking at what pens in my collection I'd like to get rid of, and I held this one in my hand thinking, yeah, I want to get rid of it, and then I thought, I should ink it up and see if I like it. So, I'm writing with it here. This has a medium nib. And what's this? Delta's stupid little gimmick where they glue a tiny piece of gold onto the steel nibs and say, it's fusion, it's science. So that's a little bit dubious, but anyway, I think it's a stupid gimmick. But writing with this pen, I was reminded that, oh yeah, I do like this pen. So yeah, this won't be in my group that I'm considering selling. Iroshizuku Yu-yake. Yu-yake. Again, I'm trying to use up some ink bottles, and the Iroshizuku 15 milliliter bottles are easy targets. I'll probably start targeting some of my little Noodlers bottles next. Or Colorverse, I've got several of those. 4 of them. But then every so often I've got to whip out some the other stuff that I like too. My next pen was basically empty. I hope I did like a partial fill on it. I wanted to compare. I'll talk about the comparing with the next pen. So this is a Parker 51. Not
WandaVision is officially wrapped up, and it has caused waves since its early episode.
Okay, I don't know if I jumped there, but so yeah, while I was doing other stuff, looking for memory cards and such, I was also watching Daniel Green's discussion of WandaVision, which is a television show I've never heard of, but for some reason I wanted to hear Daniel Green talk about it. So I don't know why it suddenly randomly started there while I'm not even touching the computer, but whoa. Parker 51. Not
WandaVision is officially wrapped up, and it has caused waves since its early episode.
So I don't remember what I just said, but Parker 51, not the new one, it's the old one. And it's got a couple drops of an ink in it, which we'll get into why in a second. So Parker Quink, Parker 51. And the ink in it is Parker Quink. Okay, this light really wants to move. Parker Quink, Blue Black. And it's actually one of my favorite blue blacks. You know, I like the Pilot Blue Black. I actually like the Aurora Blue Black, but how often do you see me using them? You see me using this one. Because I like this one the best. It's my favorite. There. So don't expect that pen next week. But what I do have, I had the opportunity to purchase 10 Parker Vectors. And I know what you're thinking. Why? Well, Parker Vector is a nice quality pen. It's a low-cost pen. And these were older model Vectors. I kind of had it in my mind to compare to the new one that I own. These are made... Can you read that? I don't even know if I can read it. Anyway, if you can't tell, it says made in the USA. I'm struggling with the lighting to read it on the camera. These are USA made. Whereas mine that I have, that I reviewed, well, it doesn't say where it's made on it, but on the box I got it in, it said Mongolia. So I thought it'd be interesting to do a video at some point comparing them, but not today. The other reason they appealed to me, it would be interesting to compare several different inks using the same pen, and these are good, reliable pens. And let's just be honest, one of the things that caught my eye is that they said on the package, or I'm sorry, on the listing, that they're going to include a permanent blue-black cartridges. We had that debacle over the permanent blue and the washable blue and all that on the channel, that whole controversy. Well, permanent blue-black cartridges. And I did have to refill the ink a little bit because it was kind of low. So, I'm looking forward to doing a comparison in the future of blue-black and permanent blue-black. And I also have the blue and washable blue, but I think I compared them. But I've got some new toys, including an old t-shirt or bed sheet. I haven't decided which one I want to sacrifice. But anyway, we're going to be investigating the washable and not washable thing. Not this break, but next time I have a break from school, which might be Easter. Because this break I want to film a different special. So, yeah. But that's coming. So, Parker Vector is a small pen. I was surprised. I'd forgotten how small they are back when I first got my replacement one. But, because Parker Vector is what got me into fountain pens in the first place when I was 10 years old. But just look at the difference in color here. Now, I remember one of the comments people made, in which I agreed with, was that Parker Blue is a very washed out ink. Same ink, supposedly. Definitely a difference here. So I'm looking forward to comparing them in the same pen, but it could be my memories of Parker Quink Washable Blues being very faded. That may be why. So this is Parker Quink Permanent Blue Black. There's a bit of wind out there today. I'm kind of glad I decided to go yesterday to Medicine Rocks because I don't think it would have been nearly as fun today. I definitely couldn't have recorded my audio. Not that I recorded a lot there, but I did record some. Especially since my cell phone is now operating the camera, it's a lot harder to use it as a voice recorder. So I think I'm glad I went to Medicine Rocks yesterday, because it was a glorious trip, as you will see at the end of this video. So anyway, between these two inks, I think you can see, wow. So I really want to have them in the same pen, under the same conditions and everything, so I can properly compare them. So, and then the same thing with the blue and the washable blue. But while we're on the topic of blue, one of the things I also want to explore are some of the other blues. Now, there was supposed to be some Pelican royal blue here tonight, but that's sitting at school, so there won't be any here tonight. But I'll get it home eventually when I remember. Oh, I should show you what my next pen is. My next pen is a Parker Wow, I keep saying Parker. It's because I was so Parker heavy the past few weeks. A Pilot Elite 95. Nice pocket pen with a very nice nib. Not a flex pen or anything, but a good pocket pen. Definitely not a pocket pen that would go out in my pocket on a hike. One thing I was noticing with this ink, I always notice a smell like formaldehyde with Pilot inks. Doesn't have that smell. Don't know why. I've had their blue-black. I've had their black. I had 350 milliliters of their black at one point in my life. I have never liked the smell, so I don't know if they've changed the formulation or what happened. Or I don't know. But that is Pilot Blue. And I want to experiment. I have a... Okay, I'll just tell you for when I get around to doing this video. I have an ink eradicator I want to use. And it was somebody's suggestion about the washable blue thing, so I'm just going to try it out. This is the Conklin word gauge. The word gauge is a silly thing. This pen sat for a few weeks because I was using other pens. It was filled up back in January, actually. But it is still going strong. When I picked it up to write with it this week, wondering, I wonder if I can still get anything out of it. Oh, yeah. So this is a Conklin word gauge. The medium nib. And the ink in it is Parker Quink Blue. Not washable blue, just plain old blue. I don't know what it is about this Conklin word gauge that I like so much, but I like it. You know, when I was looking at pens that maybe I could get rid of, this one certainly did cross my mind, but not for long, because I started writing with it and was like, oh yeah, I remember why I like this pen. Something about it feels right in my hand, and it looks good. I don't own any other Conklin pens. Did I at one point? I feel like I might have reviewed one or two others, but if I did, I don't have them anymore. This is a Platinum 3776, a pen that you know I like. This has the koi finish. It's not a pen I like to take out of my house, mainly because that quality issue. Don't have that trouble with any of my other platinums, so I think it has to do with the material it's made out of shrinking. This has a broad nib in it, and the ink in it is Iroshizuku. Because who's trying to use up Iroshizuku inks? This guy, Momiji. Which is a nice, bright, happy red. Not an angry blood red, that's a happy red. And of course, I just have always enjoyed the way platinum nibs feel. I have every nib size in the Platinum 3776, except for the extra fine and the ultra extra fine, because discovered when I got to the fine that, I stopped liking them at that point. I like the soft fine, but I don't like the regular fine. So, got a video coming up, I think in another month, about the Platinum fine nib, because I have one that's been, for 2 years it's been locked away, and I've been testing the slip and seal mechanism, which, by the way, that one does not have a slip and seal mechanism. And the moment has finally come to film the test on that. But I got to go back through and check my dates before I film that thing. This is a recent first impression. This is a Koh-i-noor 1309, given to me by a viewer who I guess wasn't a particular fan of it. I can't remember why they didn't keep it. But you might remember I had trouble filling it with the cartridge the first time, but then I did it again and it was just fine. So there was dried ink in it at the time. Because this blue ink, I put a Lamy cartridge in it, but it was coming out as a blue-black. So something was in it that I dissolved that didn't come out with my regular flushing. Because sometimes pens just need to soak if they have stuff gunked up inside them. So this is more of a daily writer type of pen. This isn't a pen you used because you want to admire the beautiful ink. But it does a very serviceable job writing. Not so much filling in big swatches of ink. Whoops. And it might be almost empty again, because I've been using it. My penultimate pen, I always think penultimate Dave when I say that, is my Noodlers Ahab. Noodlers is always a bit of a gamble. This one happens to have a good nib on it. Some of the Noodlers pens I bought are just god-awful. But one of the good things about Noodlers is they're designed for you to take apart and learn. And learn I have from Noodlers. So I'll always have a soft spot for them, even if I don't ink them up very often. So this is a Noodlers Ahab. The ink in it is Noodlers, because I only put this ink in this pen. This is Noodlers Kung to Cheng. And if you know anything about the various Noodlers inks, you know that this is a weird one. And you know why I won't put this ink in any other pen. This is a very difficult ink to clean up. It is very permanent and can even become permanent on your pen. And one thing I've been noticing with a couple of my Noodlers pens, not all of them, but a couple of them, is they're starting to yellow with age. This one is, I don't know if you can tell, but it's showing signs of it. It was a very nice transparent blue, but now it's getting more greenish with age. I have a white one I was going to ink up, but then I never inked up. Actually, it's one of their first acrylic ones, but it's also starting to yellow a little bit. No, just an observation. It's a thing. And my last pen here is a Lamy Artus Prinz 15p. It did cross my mind to wonder if the 15p was a price, but I'm pretty sure that's a model number. The pen collector, who's a pen reviewer from Romania, recently did a video on a different Artus. And so we had a little back and forth about the history of Lamy and Artus and how the two companies are connected. Well, what we finally came up with is that Lamy bought Artus, and then they, for a while, sold student pens under the Artus name. So this one's a Cartridge Converter pen. I put a horrible ink in it, as it turns out, or at least horrible for this pen. But the longer I wrote with it, the more I could live with it. This is, it's a black ink. I just thought it looked too pale. I think this is a fine nib, but I don't remember if that's the case or not, so won't put a nib size. I generally like Callifolio inks. This is one I don't care for particularly. It's their version of black, and I just think it's... Every time I've used it, I thought, ooh, that's kind of light. Which is weird from somebody who doesn't mind Parker Quink Washable Blue or Pelikan 4001 Brilliant Black. Did I say Washable Blue? I meant Parker Quink Black. So, I don't know, just something about this black I don't care for. But there it is, it's on the paper. And it's my daily Raider ink till I run the pen dry. So, live with it, squirrel! I want to show you one other thing that came up this week. Actually, I noticed it last week. This pen is my beauty. I bought two nice pens. This is the one I've revealed. The other one is coming. This one was most recently filled with Ferris wheel pressed buttered popcorn. And I wrote it dry, or close enough to dry. Then I had my busy spell. And it sat... Apparently the Ferris wheel pressed buttered popcorn is a crusty ink. I will be curious to test it in maybe some of my more crust-prone pens, but yeah, I was a little disappointed to see that. I broke my rule when I bought the Ferris wheel press ink about not buying any more ink, and feeling a little betrayed. I don't know. But I did enjoy it while it lasted, so there is that. So now, let's turn our attention to the beach I visited yesterday. I would have filmed this part yesterday, but I was on the beach. And not the nuclear war book. I was on a literal beach. So let's take a look at it. So those are the pens and inks I've been using this week. And like I said, I'm here at Medicine Rock State Park, which is a prehistoric beach. So let's take a look around the place. 67 million years ago, this was the shores of an ocean. My house was under that ocean. Several rivers drained into the ocean here, and these rocks you see are the sandbars that were left by those rivers. The material of these rocks, this sandstone, is actually the material of the Rocky Mountains as they drained into the ocean. This rock is sandstone. Here we're looking at my macro photography. It is really soft, and people actually have carved into it, including back in the Native American days. But of course, weather and wind and so on have also altered these rocks, so there's really a lot to look for here. It's really kind of amazing. And yet you look out across it and it's like, holy cow, we're in the middle of the prairie. Yeah, Ponderosa Pine Forest right here in the middle of the prairie. And it is really kind of amazing. You come across these rocks all of a sudden, and you leave them all of a sudden. And, oh, it's a bunny's butt. Okay, here's a side view of the bunny. Okay, bunnies are cute, so we have to pause and admire the bunny. Because this and some doves and pigeons were all I saw as wildlife. But yeah, there's a Ponderosa Pine Forest all around this, and imagine this. You're a Native American. You come across this area. What do you make of it? Kind of at an angle. Yeah, this was a magical area for the natives who first discovered it. If you explore it, you're going to find some native, let's call it graffiti, because that's what the modern version is. But it really shows that a human thing is to leave your mark. Whether you're Native American 10,000 years ago, or you're, Joe Bob and Luke Bob trying to show your love for each other in the 21st century. I love coming here. The views of these rocks looking up, the forest around it are just absolutely stunning. This is a photographer's dream. I'm told that lens flare? Is that what it's called? Is bad photography, but I love it. I have a lot of fun with it. And holy cow, so many beautiful landscapes. And more lens flare. So, bite me, photographers. I love it. But beautiful Ponderosa Pine Forest. And there is camping here. I want to say 11 or 12 spots. Can't remember off the top of my head. These beautiful rocks that have been pitted and worn by wind, rain, snow, ice. And it's close to Ekaleka, Montana, which I was going to put in this video, but decided not to because it's gorgeous and definitely deserves its own video. Meanwhile, these rocks show... I hear a train. Sounds like it's outside my window, but I know it's across town. These rocks really show the past. They show logs that fell inside the rocks. And, yeah. I just can't help but think, what a fun place this would be to spend a night. Maybe a couple nights. Somehow overnight, anyway. And, yeah, meanwhile, you're close to Custer National Forest and Ekaleka and Baker. So, a lot to be offered here. And why not enjoy it? So, yeah, as we open up, I hope you consider this as a place to visit. Alright, so I'm running the camera by remote control, which is handy. Except, how do I use this as a microphone while it's remote controlling the camera? But hope this was interesting. I hope when this pandemic is over, maybe I've given you another place you could visit. I always enjoy coming here, but it's also basically in my backyard. But I think that's the thing I'm looking forward to most from this pandemic being over, is being able to travel again and go see places. And maybe even once in a while go to a city. Yeah, so I'm missing that. But I'm outdoors. I have not seen a living soul since I've been here, so it's been a good day. I brought my mask. It's in my pocket here just in case, but I didn't need it, so that's a good day in my book. So I want to thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.